you do these all the time, Bob. This has become a real passion for you.
Well, it's a big part of my life.
Right, I know it is.
It's certainly the most important part.
And it all started with your grandchild, is that
Yeah,
right?
it's Christian, who's 12 years old next week.
Right, and how's he doing?
He's tough. It's a tough game. He doesn't have any breaks. So I see it firsthand, first day, every day. He's with me now, not here, but he wouldn't operate too well here.
Oh, okay, right. So what is it like for you these days, this whole process and the passion that you've taken on with autism?
Well, we got into it because we didn't know much about autism at all, and then when Christian got diagnosed, and he was a regressive child. We thought he was very bright and highly intelligent, and he had all language, and he was a walker, talker, and he didn't have any problems at all. And within a space of about 3 months, when he was 2.5, he lost everything. I mean, he lost everything. He lost his ability to communicate with us. He lost his ability to communicate with himself, in a sense. He couldn't do anything, and he became very, very difficult. Then he had a lot of GI problems, which is many children with autism have, and that's if you don't have enough of the mental issues to have GI problems on top of that,
absolutely.
It's just awful. So during that whole process, we went around the country and we talked to people about it, and I got really, I couldn't believe how many people had it and how many families were impacted. And the families were generally wonderful but broke, because you have to pay out of pocket for this. Insurance didn't cover any of the therapies, speech therapies. Maybe they get a little bit, but you have to have a heavy dose of these. And if you have cancer or something like that, everything is covered. And this one, nothing was covered. So we decided we had to pitch in and try to help. And one thing led to another. And a lot of friends of mine said, I'll help you. Some people with autism said, we'll help you. We decided to try to merge in with a lot of existing groups, which are mostly parent groups. And many of them are just exhausted. They had gone through, they contributed a lot, they worked hard. So we tried to put them together in a larger organization with a real sense of purpose. And we now have 230 full-time employees and hundreds of volunteers, and we have 100 walks in the United States. And we have a pretty good presence outside the United States now in many countries, which are countries that don't have the resources they don't have psychiatrists on every corner, and they don't have neurologists, but they do have the problem of autism, and they're looking for inexpensive ways to provide some relief for these families. And we're working on it's like a whole different approach, whether it be India or Panama or Ecuador. So it's very exciting in that respect, but getting the basic science down to, it's to get the cause and the cure is in front of us. That's going to take some.
It's still.
Well, we've put, I don't know, $3 trillion worth of research into cancer. We still don't know what causes cancer, and we don't really know how to cure it. Most of our work is knives and drugs that go through your whole body. So that's not us. We don't have that, but. There's lots of work to be done. We're doing a lot of work, and we have spent millions, tens of millions of dollars on research.
Do we know if it's if it's increasing? Are the numbers increasing?
Yes, the numbers are, and a good portion of that is a result of more awareness, and the fact that we have made this such a thing, and that's really helped. But the still of it is at least 50% of the increase we cannot. It's going to have an environmental base. In other words, there's something in whether you're eating, drinking, lifestyle, your history, your genetics that don't show up in the parent but do show up in this child, and it's very complex, and we're getting into that heavily now. But trying to make their lives easier is also part of what we do.
Of course it is. And so when we look back 50 years ago, before you recognized it or anybody did, and it became what it is today, what were those people? How were those people treated? What were they? Were they labeled as something back then?
Well, they
obviously had it.
But they were either in institutions, or they were home.
Yeah.
And
they didn't have a label for it then.
In most cases, if they were home, they were probably just shunted from place to place.
And no one knew what it was.
No,
Or they
nobody
were just-
nobody knew. Well, they knew that it was a substantial disability, but they didn't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
And again, the money issue becomes an issue. You know.
So here you are. You live on Nantucket.
I live
part-time.
Yeah.
And is this what you do pretty much all the time now? I mean, you just go.
Yeah, we
you're
have
retired. Some semi-retired.
I'm retired. I do
Yeah.
other things out of retirement, but most of them are not for profit.
Yeah.
This, of course, is by far the most significant thing we do.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of what we've tried to do. And if I can make somebody's life a little better in this situation, we've gotten insurance bills passed in 33 states, including a very good one here in Massachusetts, which is so helpful to these people.
Well,
And that's a relief. And education's always a bit of a battle, but we have lawyers, we have all kinds of people working on that.
that's great. Well, thanks so much for all you do.
But we're
Bob.
also very happy to be here, and Billy and Eric
Sure.
are really generous. We have the wonderful time here with this cruise. Hopefully get some Harleys in here in a little while.
Oh yeah, I know they're coming.
And we like that. That's all.
Yep,
Get the
yep.
kids and people feeling good about themselves, and in a beautiful one of Nantucket's best nights. And tomorrow, I think, we're one of Nantucket's best mornings.
Absolutely. So thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
It's very
for it.
very nice for you to care, and very nice for you to help us publicize
We're a
this.
community, and we support good things.
Thank you. Well, you know, Nantucket, it does have a reputation as a very friendly place for people with disabilities. And one of the things we did here, it's the first time we had done it, we started an autism resource center. Kim Horn is a full-time employee of ours here, and she regularly now deals with about 100 different families. Not all autism, other issues, and she has 70 some odd programs last year for these families. And I think that's really, we're proud of that.
Absolutely. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you. 99.
Channel 99, that's right.